So to conclude session number 6, which is what we call Kingship United. Remember, we're coming into the land with Joshua, the conquest movement. Joshua, Rahab, enter, conquer, possess, and then the farewell address. Choose this day whom you will serve. Trust and obey Yahweh. But they will fail. And that leads to this sin cycle that spirals downward into brokenness and sin. Remember the 6 R's of the downward spiral apostasy movement are these. They begin in rest, but people rebel against God. They chase other gods. They do evil in the sight of Yahweh. He gives them retribution, or He wrecks them in bringing other nations in. They cry out in repentance, and He brings back restoration. We put Ruth in there. The last note of the book of Judges is this. In those days, there was no king in Israel. Everyone did what was right in his own eyes. This is rooting our mind back to Genesis 3, where they try to take wisdom for themselves apart from Yahweh. It's a mess. It's not what we want. And as a result, we're going to transition out of our downward spiral and hopefully be bringing ourselves back to something good. And our transitional figures are Eli and Samuel. Then we 3 kings of the united monarchy are Saul, then David, then Solomon. Saul has an empty heart towards the Lord, or a frowny face. David has a full heart towards the Lord, or a smiley face. And Solomon has a half heart towards the Lord as he compromises in sin. And we end this one with our first key date, 931 BC. So the movement goes like this: Eli, Samuel, Saul, David, Solomon, death of Solomon, 931 BC. And with that, we will now turn to the most challenging part of our Bible, the part that you're signed up for Panorama to understand. It's why you're here. We move into session 7, which will be Kingship Divided.